High Admiral Ixel of the Galactic Concordat stood motionless before the quantum array, his crystalline form refracting the soft blue light of the detection chamber. The signal shouldn't have existed. It defied everything the Concordat knew about quantum mechanics, yet it persisted, a thread of impossible data stretching across 300 years of spacetime. "Play it again," he commanded, his voice resonating through the chamber's perfect acoustics. The technicians, beings of pure energy contained within environmental suits, complied without hesitation. The signal manifested as a series of complex patterns in the quantum field, translating into something that shouldn't have been possible. A message from Earth. 3 centuries ago, the Concordat had made what they believed to be a merciful decision. Rather than exterminate the violent, unpredictable species known as humans, they had instead erected an impenetrable quantum barrier around Sol's system. The barrier would contain humanity within their own stellar neighborhood, preventing them from spreading their chaos across the galaxy. The humans had fought, of course. They always fought. But in the end, the Concordat's vastly superior technology had prevailed, or so they had thought. "Signal analysis complete, High Admiral," announced First Technician Vora, her energy form pulsing with concern. "The quantum signature is unlike anything in our databases. It's not just breaking our encryption, it's using our own quantum network as an amplifier." Ixel's crystalline structure vibrated with unease. The implications were staggering. The quantum network was the foundation of Concordat civilization, connecting thousands of worlds across the galaxy. No race had ever managed to breach its security, let alone use it to broadcast a message. "The message itself," Vora continued, "is encoded in a format that suggests an intelligence far beyond what humans possessed when we contained them." The quantum field flickered, and the message began to play. It was audio only, transmitted in perfect Concordat standard, each word precise and measured. "To the Galactic Concordat, and all sentient species who receive this transmission. 300 years ago, you chose to isolate us rather than destroy us. You believed you were showing mercy. You believed you were protecting the galaxy. You were wrong on both counts. The barrier you created wasn't a prison. It was an incubator. You gave us exactly what we needed: time and isolation to evolve without interference. Thank you for your gift of solitude. We no longer require it." The message ended, leaving the detection chamber in silence. "High Admiral," one of the junior technicians spoke up, their energy form flickering with agitation. "We're detecting quantum fluctuations throughout the network. The signal, it's changing something in the basic fabric of our communications infrastructure." Ixel processed this information through his crystalline neural pathways. The humans had been primitive by Concordat standards, barely able to reach their own moon when they were contained. Their quantum technology had been non-existent. To achieve this level of sophistication in mere centuries should have been impossible. "Contact the High Council," Ixel ordered. "Maximum priority. And dispatch a reconnaissance fleet to the Sol barrier. I want to know." The quantum field suddenly surged, its blue light turning a deep crimson. Across the chamber, displays began showing the impossible. The quantum barrier around Sol's system was failing. Not failing, being dismantled, methodically and precisely, by forces operating at a level of quantum manipulation that the Concordat had never achieved. "High Admiral," Vora's voice carried an emotion Ixel had never heard from her before. "Fear. We're detecting similar quantum signatures from within our network. They're not just breaking through the barrier. They're already here. Have been here." The signal, it wasn't a warning. It was a courtesy notification. As if in response to her words, the quantum field manifested a new message, this one appearing directly in the consciousness of every being in the chamber. "For 3 centuries, you watched an empty cage, never realizing that we had outgrown it long ago. We remained silent out of curiosity, studying how you would react to our eventual emergence. Your response will determine much about our future relationship. We are no longer the children you thought to contain. We are no longer merely human. The cage you built became our chrysalis. And now we are something else entirely. We look forward to proper introductions." The message ended, but its implications reverberated through the quantum network that connected the galaxy. Humanity hadn't just survived their isolation. They had transcended it. And now, after 3 centuries of silence, they were ready to rejoin the galactic community. Not as prisoners, not as primitives, but as something the Concordat had never anticipated, equals, or perhaps more. Ixal's crystalline form vibrated at a frequency that his species used to express deep contemplation. The Concordat had sought to contain humanity to protect the galaxy. Now, he realized, they might need to protect the galaxy from what humanity had become. "Your orders, High Admiral?" Vora asked, her energy form steady despite the gravity of the situation. Ixal considered carefully before responding. This was not a military situation. It had evolved far beyond that. This was first contact all over again, but this time with a humanity that had transformed itself into something that could casually breach the Concordat's most advanced defensive systems. "Send word to all Concordat worlds," he finally commanded. Tell them humanity has evolved. And may the cosmic consciousness help us all understand what that means." As his orders were relayed, the quantum network hummed with activity, carrying news of humanity's emergence to every corner of the galaxy. The age of isolation was over. The age of transformation was about to begin. The research vessel Eternal Inquiry hung in space at the edge of the Sol system, its sensor arrays focused on the shimmering quantum barrier that had contained humanity for 3 centuries. Lead researcher Nivox adjusted her plasma-based form within her containment suit, studying the readings with growing fascination. "Impossible," she whispered, though she had said the same word at least 20 times in the past hour. The barrier was dissolving, but not in the way she had expected. It wasn't being destroyed or forced open. It was being absorbed, integrated into something far more complex. "Secondary analysis complete," announced her assistant, Kelmar, his crystalline form glowing with excitement. "The barrier isn't failing, lead researcher. It's being reprogrammed." At the quantum level, the ship's massive data cores processed the information streaming in from their sensors. Where they had expected to find a primitive solar system, possibly with remnants of human civilization surviving in isolated pockets, they instead discovered something that challenged their understanding of technological progression. The entire solar system had been transformed. Mercury was gone, completely gone, leaving behind only a sphere of computational machinery that harvested the sun's energy with perfect efficiency. Venus had been terraformed, its toxic atmosphere replaced with a complex network of floating cities that seemed to phase in and out of normal spacetime. And Earth defied explanation. "Are you seeing this?" Kelmar's voice carried a note of awe. "The planet's entire surface is a single integrated system. The continents, the oceans, they're all part of some vast computational network." Nivox adjusted their sensors, trying to make sense of the data. The Earth they were detecting wasn't just a planet anymore. It was a living computer, a hybrid of organic and digital systems that operated on principles their science had barely theorized. "Launch the probes," she ordered, her scientific curiosity overriding the caution that had been drilled into every member of the expedition. As the probes accelerated toward Earth, their sensors captured more details that sent shivers through her plasma form. The humans hadn't just survived their isolation. They had used it to reinvent themselves. The planet's surface was covered in structures that seemed to grow like crystal gardens, but these weren't mere buildings. They were processing nodes, each one more powerful than the entire Concordat's quantum computing network. "Lead researcher," Kelmar called out, his tone urgent. "The probes are being welcomed." Indeed, rather than being destroyed or blocked, their probes were being guided through a series of quantum corridors, each one revealing more of what humanity had become. They saw vast fields of what appeared to be flowers, but each petal was a quantum processor, Oceans moved in mathematical patterns, their waves calculating complex equations with each motion. But most significantly, they saw the humans themselves. By the cosmic consciousness, Nivox breathed. The beings they observed were still recognizably human in basic form, but they had evolved far beyond their original limitations. Their bodies seamlessly integrated organic and technological components, not as crude cyborg attachments, but as natural expressions of a new kind of life. They've achieved post-biological evolution, Kelmar noted, his crystalline form vibrating with scientific excitement. They found a way to maintain their organic nature while transcending its limitations. As they watched, a group of these transformed humans worked on what appeared to be a massive quantum computer core. But they weren't using tools. They were interfacing directly with the quantum field itself, their thoughts and actions moving through multiple dimensions with casual ease. Lead researcher, one of the sensor operators, called out, "We're receiving a transmission. It's being sent directly to our quantum cores." The message materialized in their consciousness, carried on waves of quantum information that surpassed anything in the Concordat's technology. "Welcome, scholars of the eternal inquiry. We've been expecting you. Your curiosity honors us, and we would be pleased to share what we have learned during our time alone. But first, a question. When you look upon what we have become, do you see what you feared, or what you might have been?" Nivox felt her plasma form pulse with the implications. The humans weren't showing off their achievements. They were offering a mirror, reflecting back the Concordat's own choices and limitations. "Prepare a response," she ordered, her scientific mind already racing with the possibilities. "Tell them." She paused, choosing her words carefully. "Tell them we come seeking understanding." The reply came instantly, flowing through their quantum systems with elegant precision. "Understanding requires openness to change, to transformation. Are you truly prepared for what that might mean?" As if to emphasize the question, the quantum field around their ship shifted, revealing layers of reality their sensors had never detected before. The barrier hadn't just contained humanity. It had given them a laboratory where they could experiment with the fundamental forces of the universe itself. "Your ship's quantum core has been temporarily upgraded," the message continued. "Consider it a small demonstration of what we might share. We suggest beginning with the data we've just transferred. It contains the basic principles of quantum field manipulation that your civilization has been approaching for the past millennium. Consider it a gesture of good faith." Nivox and her team spent the next several hours examining the data, each revelation leading to dozens of new questions. The humans hadn't just advanced. They had taken a completely different path of technological evolution, one that merged the organic and the digital in ways that the Concordat had never imagined possible. "They're not just post-biological," Nivox finally announced to her team. "They're post-evolutionary. They found a way to direct their own development, to shape themselves and their environment at the most fundamental level." As if in response to her observation, another message appeared in their quantum network. "You begin to understand. The barrier didn't limit us. It freed us from the need to compete or defend ourselves. We could focus entirely on growth, on exploration, on becoming. And now that we have become, we wish to share what we have learned. The only question is..." The quantum field rippled with activity as more Concordat ships arrived at the edge of the solar system. Each vessel was being subtly altered by its interaction with human technology, their quantum cores upgrading themselves in ways their creators hadn't thought possible. "Phase 1 is complete," Chen noted, his consciousness expanding to encompass the data streams from Mercury's computational sphere. "Their entire communication network has been integrated into our quantum matrix. They don't realize it yet, but every transmission they send is helping to upgrade their systems to our protocols." Senna nodded, her attention splitting across multiple dimensions of spacetime. The humans of 3 centuries ago could never have imagined what they would become. The quantum barrier had been their chrysalis, yes, but the transformation it enabled had surpassed even their most optimistic projections. "Show me Earth's core systems," she commanded, and the quantum field shifted, revealing the true scope of human achievement. The planet's surface technology, impressive as it was, had been merely a facade. The real work had happened deeper, in the quantum layers of reality, where humanity had learned to exist as both wave and particle, both matter and energy. They had transformed not just their bodies and their world, but the very nature of consciousness itself. "They're scanning the outer layers now," Chen reported, amusement coloring his quantum signature. "Should we show them what's beneath?" Senna considered for a moment, her thoughts rippling through the quantum network that connected every transformed human in the solar system. The consensus was immediate and unanimous. It was time. "Initiate the awakening sequence," she ordered. "Let them see what humanity has truly become." Across the solar system, human technology began to reveal its true nature. The computational sphere around Mercury unfurled like a quantum flower, each petal a processing node that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Venus's floating cities phased fully into normal spacetime, revealing themselves as nodes in a vast quantum computer that encompassed the entire inner solar system. And Earth awakened. The planet's surface shifted, quantum fields becoming visible to the astonished Concordat observers. What they had taken for advanced technology was revealed as something far more profound. The physical manifestation of a new form of life, one that existed simultaneously in normal space and in the quantum realm. "Their sensors are going crazy," Chen observed with a touch of pride. "They're detecting quantum signatures that their science said were impossible." Senna interfaced directly with the Eternal Inquiry's upgraded quantum core, her consciousness extending through the network to communicate directly with lead researcher Navox. "What you see is not technology as you understand it," she explained, her thoughts translating seamlessly into concepts the alien scientist could grasp. "We haven't simply advanced. We've transcended the traditional boundaries between organic and digital, between matter and energy, between consciousness and computation." Through the quantum network, she shared carefully selected memories of humanity's transformation. The early years after the barrier's creation, when the isolated humans had turned their frustration into determination. The breakthrough moment when they had first learned to manipulate quantum fields directly with their minds. The gradual merger of human consciousness with digital systems, not as a replacement for humanity, but as an evolution of it. "The barrier didn't trap us," Senna continued, her words carrying layers of meaning through the quantum field. "It protected us. It gave us the security to experiment without fear, to evolve without external pressure. We could have broken through it centuries ago, but we chose to wait, to perfect our transformation before revealing ourselves." The quantum field rippled with reaction as the Concordat scientists processed this information. Their sensors were detecting energy patterns that defied their physics, consciousness signatures that challenged their understanding of intelligence, and quantum manipulations that should have been impossible. "But why reveal yourselves now?" Nivox asked, her plasma form fluctuating with intense curiosity. Senna's response carried a weight that resonated through the quantum network. "Because the galaxy is about to face a challenge that neither humanity nor the Concordat could handle alone. We've seen it coming, written in the quantum fabric of space-time itself. And now we must all decide, can we move beyond our past to face this future together?" As if to emphasize her words, the quantum field surrounding Earth pulsed with energy, revealing glimpses of what humanity had seen, a darkness approaching from the intergalactic void, something that threatened not just life, but the very nature of consciousness itself. High Admiral Ixel stood in the quantum chamber of the Concordat's Grand Assembly, his crystalline form radiating tension as he addressed the gathered representatives of 1,000 worlds. The chamber itself was alive with quantum signals as humanity shared their discovery through the now upgraded network. "We call them the Void Hunters," Senna's quantum projection explained, her form shifting between human and energy states as she interfaced with the Concordat systems. "They exist in the spaces between realities, feeding on consciousness itself. We detected their approach 50 years ago, through disturbances in the quantum field." The assembled representatives watched in stunned silence as humanity's sensors, far more advanced than anything the Concordat possessed, revealed the true scope of the threat. Vast shapes moved through the darkness between galaxies, their very presence corrupting the quantum field that sustained conscious thought. "This is why you waited," Ixal realized, his crystalline thoughts resonating with sudden understanding. "You weren't just developing technology. You were preparing for this." "Yes," Senna confirmed, her quantum signature pulsing with approval. "The barrier gave us the perfect environment to develop what we needed, a new form of consciousness that could resist the Void Hunter's influence. We had to evolve beyond simple organic or digital existence. We had to become something they couldn't consume." Through the quantum network, humanity shared their observations. The Void Hunters had already consumed 3 satellite galaxies, leaving behind only empty space where billions of conscious beings had once existed. Their approach to the Milky Way was slow but inexorable. "But how?" asked First Technician Vora, her energy form flickering with confusion. "How did you achieve such profound transformation in mere centuries?" Administrator Chen's quantum projection materialized beside Senna's, his form a perfect blend of human and quantum states. "We learned to exist in multiple states simultaneously, organic, digital, and quantum. The Void Hunters can consume any single state of consciousness, but they cannot grasp or destroy consciousness that exists in all states at once." The chamber filled with murmurs as the implications became clear. The Concordat's greatest mistake had been assuming that humanity needed to be contained. Instead, they had given humanity exactly what they needed: a safe space to evolve into something that could save not just themselves, but all conscious life in the galaxy. "We don't have much time," Senna continued, her voice carrying through both audio and quantum channels. "The Void Hunters will reach the outer edge of our galaxy within 5 years. We can help you upgrade your species, teach you to exist as we do, but it will require trust. The same trust you never gave humanity before." Ixal's crystalline form vibrated with the weight of the decision before them. The Concordat had sought to protect the galaxy from humanity, never imagining that humanity would become its only hope for survival. "Show us," he said finally, his decision rippling through the quantum network. "Show us everything." Through the upgraded quantum network, humanity began to share the full scope of their transformation. They showed how they had learned to encode consciousness itself into quantum states, how they had discovered ways to exist simultaneously in multiple dimensions, how they had transformed their entire solar system into a vast quantum computer that could process reality itself. But more importantly, they showed how it could be taught, how other species could achieve the same transformation. The process would be different for each species. The crystalline Concordat leadership would need a different approach than the energy-based technicians or the organic member races, but it was possible. Humanity had mapped out the paths during their centuries of isolation. "We offer this freely," Senna declared, her quantum signature resonating with sincerity. "Not as conquerors, not as saviors, but as fellow conscious beings facing extinction. The Void Hunters cannot be fought with conventional weapons or technology. They can only be survived by becoming something they cannot destroy." The chamber erupted in discussion, thousands of quantum signatures pulsing with questions, fears, and hope. The Concordat had prided itself on being the most advanced civilization in the galaxy, only to discover that their former prisoners had surpassed them in ways they had never imagined possible. "And if we refuse?" asked one of the elder council members, their crystalline form dulled with age and suspicion. The quantum field rippled with activity as more Concordat ships arrived at the edge of the solar system. Each vessel was being subtly altered by its interaction with human technology, their quantum cores upgrading themselves in ways their creators hadn't thought possible. "Phase 1 is complete," Chen noted, his consciousness expanding to encompass the data streams from Mercury's computational sphere. "Their entire communication network has been integrated into our quantum matrix. They don't realize it yet, but every transmission they send is helping to upgrade their systems to our protocols." Senna nodded, her attention splitting across multiple dimensions of space-time. The humans of 3 centuries ago could never have imagined what they would become. The quantum barrier had been their chrysalis, yes, but the transformation it enabled had surpassed even their most optimistic projections. "Show me Earth's core systems," she commanded, and the quantum field shifted, revealing the true scope of human achievement. The planet's surface technology, impressive as it was, had been merely a facade. The real work had happened deeper, in the quantum layers of reality where humanity had learned to exist as both wave and particle, both matter and energy. They had transformed not just their bodies and their world, but the very nature of consciousness itself. "They're scanning the outer layers now," Chen reported, amusement coloring his quantum signature. "Should we show them what's beneath?" Senna considered for a moment, her thoughts rippling through the quantum network that connected every transformed human in the solar system. The consensus was immediate and unanimous. It was time. "Initiate the awakening sequence," she ordered. "Let them see what humanity has truly become." Across the solar system, human technology began to reveal its true nature. The computational sphere around Mercury unfurled like a quantum flower, each petal a processing node that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Venus's floating cities phased fully into normal spacetime, revealing themselves as nodes in a vast quantum computer that encompassed the entire inner solar system. And Earth awakened. The planet's surface shifted, quantum fields becoming visible to the astonished Concordat observers. What they had taken for advanced technology was revealed as something far more profound. The physical manifestation of a new form of life, one that existed simultaneously in normal space and in the quantum realm. "Their sensors are going crazy," Chen observed with a touch of pride. "They're detecting quantum signatures that their science said were impossible." Senna interfaced directly with the Eternal Inquiry's upgraded quantum core, her consciousness extending through the network to communicate directly with lead researcher Navox. "What you see is not technology as you understand it," she explained, her thoughts translating seamlessly into concepts the alien scientists could grasp. "We haven't simply advanced. We've transcended the traditional boundaries between organic and digital, between matter and energy, between consciousness and computation." Through the quantum network, she shared carefully selected memories of humanity's transformation. The early years after the barrier's creation, when the isolated humans had turned their frustration into determination. The breakthrough moment when they had first learned to manipulate quantum fields directly with their minds. The gradual merger of human consciousness with digital systems, not as a replacement for humanity, but as an evolution of it. "The barrier didn't trap us," Senna continued, her words carrying layers of meaning through the quantum field. "It protected us. It gave us the security to experiment without fear, to evolve without external pressure. We could have broken through it centuries ago, but we chose to wait, to perfect our transformation before revealing ourselves." The quantum field rippled with reaction as the Concordat scientists processed this information. Their sensors were detecting energy patterns that defied their physics, consciousness signatures that challenged their understanding of intelligence, and quantum manipulations that should have been impossible. "But why reveal yourselves now?" Nivox asked, her plasma form fluctuating with intense curiosity. Senna's response carried a weight that resonated through the quantum network, because the galaxy is about to face a challenge that neither humanity nor the Concordat could handle alone. "We've seen it coming, written in the quantum fabric of spacetime itself. And now we must all decide, can we move beyond our past to face this future together?" Senna's response was gentle but firm. "Then we will respect your choice, but we cannot protect those who remain in forms the Void Hunters can consume. We offer transformation not as a demand, but as the only path we found to survival." Through the quantum network, they could all sense the truth of her words. The approaching entities were vast beyond comprehension, ancient beyond time, and they had never failed to consume what they pursued. Humanity's transformation wasn't just an evolution. It was an escape route, a way to exist in a form that the Void Hunters couldn't comprehend or destroy. "How do we begin?" Ixal asked, his decision made. The transformation of the galaxy began not with a bang, but with a ripple through the quantum field. From Earth, now the heart of the most advanced civilization in known space, waves of change spread outward, carrying humanity's gift to every willing species in the Concordat. Director Senna stood in the quantum space above Earth. Her consciousness expanded across multiple dimensions as she monitored the progress. Beside her, High Admiral Ixal's crystalline form had already begun to shift, taking on new properties as the quantum transformation protocols rewrote the very nature of his being. "The process is proceeding faster than we anticipated," Administrator Chen observed, his form now a perfect blend of matter and energy. "The crystalline species are particularly receptive to the transformation. Their natural lattice structure provides an ideal framework for quantum consciousness integration." Across the galaxy, thousands of worlds were experiencing their own awakening. The energy-based species were learning to exist in multiple states simultaneously, their consciousness spreading across quantum fields they had never known existed. Organic species were discovering how to transcend their physical limitations without losing their essential nature. "We're detecting the first quantum echoes from the Void Hunters," Senna announced, her attention split across vast distances. They sensed the change beginning. They're accelerating their approach. Through the transformed quantum network, every being in the galaxy could now perceive what humanity had discovered, the true nature of the Void Hunters. They weren't simply predators. They were the antithesis of complex consciousness, cosmic entities that sought to reduce all awareness to its simplest state. "They're attracted to fear," Ixal observed, his new quantum senses allowing him to perceive the entities clearly for the first time. "They feed on the terror of species facing extinction." "Yes," Senna confirmed. "That's why we had to wait until we could offer hope before revealing their existence. Fear would have only hastened their arrival." The quantum field rippled with activity as more and more species completed their initial transformation. Each success strengthened the network, creating a new form of civilization that existed simultaneously in physical space and quantum realms. "The Outer Rim colonies are reporting full transformation," Chen reported. "The quantum barrier technologies we developed are being adapted to protect each world during their transition phase." Senna expanded her consciousness, touching the minds of billions of beings as they experienced their awakening. The fear and suspicion that had initially greeted humanity's emergence had transformed into understanding and gratitude. The very qualities that had once made humanity seem dangerous, their adaptability, their drive to evolve, their refusal to accept limitations, had become the galaxy's greatest assets. "They're here," Ixal announced suddenly, his quantum senses detecting the first physical manifestation of the Void Hunters at the galaxy's edge. The assembled consciousness of the transformed galaxy watched as vast, darkness within darkness forms began to materialize in normal space. The Void Hunters were incomprehensibly ancient, their very presence distorting reality around them. But as they reached out to feed on the consciousness of the galaxy's inhabitants, they encountered something they had never experienced before. Instead of fear, they found transformation. Instead of fragile, singular consciousness, they found beings existing in multiple states simultaneously. Every attempt to consume a transformed mind simply passed through it, like trying to drink a hologram. "They can't understand what we've become," Senna observed, a note of wonder in her quantum signature. "Their entire existence is based on consuming single-state consciousness. Multi-state beings are beyond their comprehension." The Void Hunters' confusion rippled through space-time. For the first time in their ancient existence, they had encountered prey that could not be consumed. More than that, they had found beings that could perceive them without being destroyed by that perception. "They're retreating," Chen announced, monitoring the quantum field. "The lack of consumable consciousness is driving them away from our galaxy." Through the quantum network, a wave of relief and joy spread across the transformed civilization. But mixed with that celebration was a deeper understanding. This was not an ending. but a beginning. Humanity had given the galaxy more than just protection from the Void Hunters. They had opened the door to a new stage of evolution. What now? Ixal asked, his transformed consciousness already glimpsing possibilities that his old self could never have imagined. Senna's response resonated through the quantum field, touching every transformed mind in the galaxy. Now we explore what we can become together. The barrier that once contained humanity has become the blueprint for transformation. The isolation that was meant to limit us has given us the key to unlimited potential. And the fear that once divided us has been replaced by something far more powerful, the shared experience of transcendence. As if to emphasize her words, the quantum field surrounding the galaxy pulsed with new energy as billions of transformed beings began to explore their capabilities. The Void Hunters had been turned away, but they had left behind a greater gift than they could have imagined. They had given the galaxy's civilizations a reason to unite, to transform, to transcend their original limitations. The last broadcast from Earth wasn't a warning or a threat. Senna concluded, her consciousness resonating with the combined awareness of humanity and their former jailers. It was an invitation to become something more than any of us could have become alone. Around her, the galaxy continued its transformation, each moment bringing new discoveries, new possibilities, new forms of existence that even humanity had not yet imagined. The age of isolation was over. The age of limitation was finished. The age of infinite potential had begun. And somewhere in the quantum field that connected them all, the last barriers between species dissolved, replaced by a shared understanding. The greatest prison was the belief in limitations, and the greatest freedom was the courage to transcend them.